Yeah, I saw Zoran on Instagram saying about how prepared they are for the worst blizzard
I
since
saw that
2016.
too.
Okay.
I was
Uh,
like, he's really, his PR about snow and temperatures is like really top notch. I've seen so much.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really think I don't think he's a meteorologist, but
He definitely likes making videos about it, but that tracks because his mom is a really famous director, so.
oh, I
yeah.
think you were gonna say she's a famous meteorologist.
No,
No. You know
I
where?
forget her name, but yeah.
Yeah, she is. So, yeah, but
The
well,
Daisy people in my life are like, oh yeah, his mom is like really well known.
but
Okay.
you know who doesn't need meteorologists is people in Yorkshire, Wuthering Heights.
Because it's
That's
always
always
gray.
gray.
Hello and welcome to
Yeah.
part two
Yeah.
of our coverage of Wuthering Heights in
In
quotations,
quotations, yeah.
the new film by Emerald Fennell. We started you off with a broad strokes analysis of what we thought of this movie. Now we're here to dive deep into some of the technical aspects of the movie. We're here with Stephanie and Gretchen. I'm Rachel, and what's going on is that we're obsessed with this movie.
We're thinking a lot about
Yeah,
it.
I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stephanie, I think today on the docket was costumes and sets, but do you want to give like a really like 2 minute broad like what you thought when you're leaving the theater or 30
Well,
seconds?
I'll start by what I was thinking walking into the theater, which was remember that you like so many reviews said don't walk in and expect this to be like the book. And so I was trying to keep that in mind, and also the fact that Emerald said she made this in sort of her teenage fever dream vision. So I was trying to keep that in mind, and I felt like that was a good way to kind of view it because it did not track with the book, but I would say like I found it to be entertaining. Like I wasn't ever really bored. I was like into it in a way. Um Loved the costumes, loved the sets. And then yeah, leaving I was kind of yeah, I tried to go in like neutral, and leaving I felt like glad I had seen it, like especially on a big screen. And I was, yeah, pleasantly surprised that I was able to sort of keep the book out of it and everything in my head. So I would say you just have to go in there and not expect it to be anything that it's not, which maybe that's, a way to live life or see see movies. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, we're
kind of,
living in the moment with Emerald
yeah.
Fennell on this film.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can live in the moment, you probably won't be bored. You'll be along for the ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely won't be bored. I don't think that that is part of the conversation at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so either. I haven't seen any reviews or people who were just like, this is bad. I'm so mad I saw it. Like, I
Yeah.
feel
Nobody's
like
like
the,
walking out.
No.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's giving the Bridgerton treatment, which we love. But something that I think that this director always does really well is like the technical world building stuff. And this film is no different. And so, do we want to start with the sets?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, the sets were so, so great. We did have a discussion during the film, actually, like, it's a good thing that we were not sitting next to other people. Our husbands actually made sure that we did not sit near where people could hear our commentary, although I think that it enhances people's entire experience
Experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
of a film. But we did the one thing that we actually talked about out loud during the movie was the subway tile.
That was like, I was like,
Those
what?
were not invented yet. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
Gretchen, you're the
There,
expert
it was
here, but
definitely very weird. I was that was the one thing I was like, well, okay. I mean, obviously, my vision of Wuthering Heights was very different. I like the whole house,
A
but
lot of stone, I think,
yeah, yeah,
would be
would be
consistent.
would it felt yeah it would felt more accurate to be like a lot of stone, but yeah, that white tile, the white ceramic tile, I was like, guys, come on. And also, why here in this passageway where you're just like,
Well,
yeah, oh, because of the
because
blood.
it was giving abattoir. So, like, we start this film with, I think I'm gonna die in this house.
Yeah,
And then we go directly to the abattoir tunnel with the white subway tile.
yeah.
And I, it didn't really take me out of it. I was like, this is,
It made me a little bit. I was like, this is not. I don't feel like, whatever. It was fine, but yeah, um, I definitely pictured the house differently. It felt a little squat, like it felt small.
Yeah, it did
For
not feel like Downton Abbey. I don't know why I
mm-mm.
keep bringing up Downton Abbey, but in my brain, that's like the kind of manor
Yeah,
house that I always imagined Wuthering Heights to be,
yeah,
except for like
yeah.
on the top of a cliff. So maybe
yeah.
more like the Secret Garden house.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
but older because it was there. Like it's like a 1500s
Right.
house, so
But
like really
they
old
add to those things
for
and they
sure.
like,
Yeah,
Right. They get some money, they build out, they lose money. They're not tearing it down. Like it felt a little diminutive,
yeah,
compared to what I
yes.
was
But yeah, the design of it was
imagining.
giving 16th century, but the shape and size and height of the house was giving 16th century house. So like I
yeah.
guess there were parts of it. And I did like that it was built into the side of the cliff.
I liked that.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so there was that set. There was the Wuthering Heights set. There was kind of like the Windy Moor, which not really a set. I think that was on location. There was
Which was great.
which was
We
great,
love it
good.
more. Yeah,
Great
Love
job,
them
nature.
more. Yeah.
yeah. Good job, nature.
Excellent work on the giant rocks. And then there was the garden, and then there was the inside of Thrushcross that had all sorts of like little rooms that were all sort of different. But there really, there were not that many sets in this piece. So like I think that, because it introduced us to this world that's supposed to feel claustrophobic, doing it in a really concise number of like places where we're going to be, like, it added to the claustrophobia and to the isolation aspect of it, which I thought was really cool. Like, we don't ever really, except for that opening scene, like, we don't go anywhere except for these two properties.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the
There was
opening
a real,
scene.
there was a real sense of, yeah, claustrophobia, distance from everything else, like really limited options almost, except for where you're on the moors, So it did
and
feel,
that's where it was
yeah.
freedom. It was giving wind and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
almost giving like the effect of being on a seaside to me, like
Yeah.
a cliff, like you're kind of looking and it's expansive and yeah, possibility, but you don't really know what. It's very mysterious.
Yeah.
yeah, which
For
is so
sure.
funny because it's not near the sea. It just happens to be really windy up there.
Yeah.
Right?
And like I think in the book actually they say young Catherine asks Nellie like what's on the other side of that hill? Is it the sea? And Nellie says no, it's just more hills.
Yeah.
But you
And
don't know till you go and find out. So, yeah.
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 But I
Oh, go ahead.
found in Thrushcross Grange the level of like artifice was so it was interesting. I mean, but it definitely felt like a theater set, which
Or
Wuthering
did it
Heights
feel
did
like a dollhouse?
a little bit. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, the dollhouse. Do you want to talk about that?
They can be
I mean,
both. It can be a
yeah,
theater
I
set and
do.
a dollhouse.
I think that you're pinging something with the theater set thing because it kind of did feel like with the amount of like, like a concise number of sets that we see over and over again, that kind of felt like the way they would do it in a play.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the dollhouse thing. I loved how like disorienting that first shot of like the actual dollhouse was because it was so big and you were like
Yeah.
the scale of that shot was really strange. You were like, what am I even like really looking at right now? Which is kind
Yeah.
of how Kathy reacts to it. Like, oh my God, like what am I looking at right now?
Hmm.
And there is definitely a sense, and I think this comes from the book, and it's less palpable maybe in the action of the movie, but that all these characters are playing with each other like dolls. And so, like, Kathy loves to play with people. She loves to play with Linton and Heathcliff, and Heathcliff is playing with Isabella. And, it's just very, very dollhousey. So I thought that that was cool. And I love a huge dollhouse.
Me
Yeah.
too. I think
Yeah.
during the movie I said that's the dollhouse I want to have in my
Yes.
basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks exactly like your house.
Yeah, exactly like your house. We did have a nice Lego dollhouse that was interesting. But anyways, I was it Lego? No.
Playmobil.
Playmobil. Playmobil.
Yeah,
Um
Playmobil.
yeah, I think there was I think the amount of different materials in the Thrush Cross Grange was also very interesting. There was like the sparkly
Yes.
walls in the dining room. There was the plaster hands around the fireplace.
I
Well, that was really
loved
cool.
that
Yeah,
fireplace.
yeah, that was really cool.
I was like,
It
how can I
reminded
get that
me
into my house? Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of in that movie Labyrinth, do you remember where they
Yeah,
had like all of
yeah,
Yeah.
the hands and they were like talking that it was kind
yeah.
of giving Labyrinth and I love that lacquered red floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and everything in Wuthering Heights was kind of gray in one tone, except for that white little tunnel.
There was the white
And
and then there was like black like where the stone should have been just like a natural stone finish. It was
yeah,
like a shiny black
yeah,
on the outside of the house, which
yeah, yeah,
it was a cool
Yeah.
effect.
yeah,
Yeah. It's all very old at Wuthering Heights and then
yeah. And then very new
transitions
and
to
sparkly.
new,
And
bright, colorful.
it
Yeah.
also was interesting that you kind of got the sense that although you know Edgar Linton might very much love. I mean, obviously this is a big thing. He might very much love Kathy. He doesn't really know her, and he wants her to fit into this dollhouse, which is also walled off entirely from the moors, and Wuthering Heights is built into the cliff. So it's almost like it's part of the landscape and part of like everything. So, and literally Isabella makes a doll of her out of her hair. So you get a sense that like, she's being played with a little bit too in a more
Absolutely.
artificial like puppeting sense. So
Yeah.
There is definitely a sense that like as much as like Kathy comes to Thrushcross to be Linton's wife, she also comes there to be Isabella's like Barbie.
yeah, because she makes her all those clothes. Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, there was, and I think the main struggle that she portrayed in the movie, where it was either like, not the main struggle, but when she was deciding whether or not to marry Edgar, and she's like, well, either I'll be begging or I'll do this, basically. You kind of got that sense of, oh, it is a little bit dire. It's not, so that was, I thought, interesting how they like used that as a jumping off point for that, she's in a set basically for her whole life. But yeah.
Yeah. And
And it
women
is
really didn't have, many options back then. And I felt like that scene kind of reminded me of that, where she was like, yeah, if I take this path, this thing will happen. If I take this path, this other thing will happen. It wasn't like,
I can do whatever I
endless
want.
possibilities
Yeah.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Although it was though because when she's playing this scene, she's like either I will marry this rich man and then I'll be rich and like life will be great or my other option is that I'll be poor and that would be unacceptable. And every time she has this conversation, she has it with a person who is poor. And so basically she's saying like either I do something that I really don't want to do or I'll end up like you, Millie, or like you,
God forbid.
Heathcliff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
God forbid, like your life is so horrible that like
Yeah.
I would just rather like go be a Barbie in Thrushcross Grange than ever end
Yeah.
up like you, which is so mean.
It's so mean. It's like where her bitchy part comes in a little bit. And also, I think it speaks to the problems with class, obviously. Like, she is already essentially so poor. Like, she can't even afford firewood, right? But she's like, I still can't accept this as my lot in life. And so she, and but yeah, it is interesting. That's, I guess, like probably where her bitchiness comes out the most, and that she's like really kind of mean to Nellie at times. So
Yeah, I mean, I let the like moments, like I feel like her performance, not to like skip around out of the like set stuff, but like she is such like a controlled, like she's keeping everything under the surface. She's trying to like maintain her composure. But then like in the moments where she does get really cunty, those are my favorite moments. That character
Yeah.
absolutely comes alive. I would love for her to be that the entire film. Like
yeah,
it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she really closed off from that when she got married. Yeah, it was almost gone.
yeah.
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 But then
And
when
in
she was
the-
like, "Don't slit your throat on the carpet because it's Linton's favorite carpet
Yeah.
and he would not like
Yeah.
it." I was like, "This is what I want. Like this
Yeah.
is the Kathy that
yeah.
I want."
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, I guess. Heathcliff comes back, and she's the one that we,
That's true. He
she's
brings
herself.
the cuntiness back.
Yeah,
and
she's
like
who she really is. Yeah.
He
She
brings her
should
back
be.
to herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, like in the movie, she's in comparison different from the book. She's like well past spinster age. It's insinuated that maybe she is in her 30s. She's not trying to play like an 18-year-old. And so, but I felt like there was some disconnect there that I wanted to see, where it was like, well, then why didn't she get married all this time? Clearly, like, she's pretty, she's from this family, she probably could have, like, why, like, how did we jump, and what happened in those years? And like, maybe it was her bitchiness. Like, we could have seen more of that coming out as an explanation or something.
Yeah, I think I struggled with that too a little bit, because I was like, what age are these people? And I think she was supposed to be, if I had to guess, I would say she was supposed to be in her early 20s but when she got married, because that is still past spinster age, but it's not. So like, if she was in her 30s, no one would marry her back then.
No.
So she'd be done. But I do
Unless
think
he didn't know that, because he just moved
because
in.
he's not from there.
Yeah. So maybe she was
maybe.
cosplaying. I don't know.
But I think
I don't think that that's what we're saying. I think that people were playing different ages than the ages that they actually are. Like,
Yeah, I
probably
mean-
she was meant to be closer to the age that Jacob Elordi actually is.
Like
Yeah.
25. Yeah.
yeah, 25.
yeah.
I also, but yeah, I do agree with you, because in the book she is, supposed to be the queen of the countryside, they call her, because she's so beautiful, but almost no one comes to visit, because Edgar, her brother, who's the lord of the manor, is so awful and doesn't instill manners in anyone, and, they all do their best, but no one comes to visit except for Edgar Linton, so, and she's kind of bitchy probably too, so, yeah.
She is bitchy to him. She's bitchy to everyone. She's like,
Yeah.
makes herself like a little love triangle between
Yeah.
Heathcliff and Edgar until she finally decides to get married, which is like, and I think that even at that point, like, she does kind of think like, well, just because I'm marrying Edgar doesn't mean that I have to change my relationship with Heathcliff,
Oh yeah,
which is just very cute. She's just like a very, like that's how the mind of like a young woman
yeah, she was 15 back then.
works.
15 to 18 or something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I realized when I did the math, rereading or listening to the book, I'm like, oh, I imagine Heathcliff as being super old when Lockwood got there, and it was like he's like 36.
40,
Yeah, yeah, he's like not old. He's like
Nobody
30.
lives past 40.
Well, they do. So they do. Not in this book, but one of my pet peeves about history is that people did get old. It's just that the averages were averaged so low because babies died a lot. So
Right.
Yeah.
Although I did see something recently about like the Brontes and what, many of the Brontes died very, very young. And apparently in the town where they lived at the time, like it was so polluted and the water was so unsafe that the median age was like 35.
No,
I
that's
think I
awful.
read something about that
That's
too.
awful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a
Was
lot
it
of
DuPont?
problems.
It was DuPont. But
Yeah.
anyways, so back to the sets. I mean, obviously there's like the skin room, which is kind of
The
what we're
skin
talking
room.
about. It's very much like theatrical. She's almost being suffocated by herself, or by her beauty in a way.
Yeah, by her beauty. And like it's her skin. It's not like it's skin deep. Like it's the artifice of her personality. It's like
Yeah.
what Linton knows of her, which is he doesn't know her at all, but he knows what she looks like. And he
Yeah.
knows that she's beautiful. And so like, yeah, she's suffocated by like being the Barbie.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
nothing else in that room except for the bed and
The
her
bed
vanity.
and like a little table,
A
but
little
like
vanity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been wanting to paint my bedroom for a long time, and I was looking at the colors, and one of the options is like that skin color, and I'm like,
my
maybe I don't know. That felt a little oppressive, but I don't have the same skin color as her. But like, yeah, it just and like all the freckles. Oh my god.
I think
my
the
God, and the
freckles made it
veins.
creepy. Yeah,
The
that's what made
veins.
it creepy and oppressive.
Yeah,
You might be
yeah.
able to pull it off with
Pull off a
more
nice,
monochrome.
yeah, like a tone. Yeah, yeah.
This
I
is
think
like a classic example of the Lintons going too far. He's like, I am going to paint this room to look like Kathy because I love Kathy. And Isabella's like, I'm going to make a doll out of Kathy's hair because I love Kathy. They just go too far.
I know,
They just-
and they're always about the surface level and they don't really know. Yeah, it just. And no one goes out in the moors. They don't go out in the moors. She goes out to the moors, but no one
But you
leaves
gotta
the
go out
walled
on the
garden.
moors.
I
Well,
know,
it's
they-
very windy.
Yeah, if the moors
Yes,
are
yeah.
out back, you just go.
Well, there's a big wall around it, so.
I mean, I'm
There
sure
are
there's
ways.
a gate.
Of
Yeah.
course, there's a gate. I know.
There's a
but,
gate, which is how she got in there in the first place, right?
Yeah, he let her in through the gate. Yeah,
Yeah.
because she was sneaking on the wall. Yeah, I think a lot of people were talking about the skin room, and I guess they actually did do 3D scans of Margot Robbie's face because they had to put freckles on her every day, and they wanted to make sure it was accurate. So they just ended up like, using those as like a little bit of a basis, and like
Yeah, she said that they photographed her skin and then blew it up and basically made wallpaper.
yeah, because they were doing that anyways for the 3D scan, but
Which is just
or
like,
for the yeah, it's creepy.
I
don't
mean,
think
it's
I'd
creepy,
fun.
but it's incredible. And I
Yeah.
think that, like, so many little details about this house are incredible. And, like, the way that they mix in, like, accurate to the period things, like, there's a lot of taxidermy in the Red Room, which is something that, like, people don't talk about a lot, but, like, was a very popular hobby for, like, society women at that time.
Yeah.
Like, it was, like, crafting, like, they would have, like, a room in their house that they would like do taxidermy, and it was specifically like a hobby for women.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Like how people have scrapbook rooms or,
Basically, it was
craft rooms.
basically 18th century scrapbooking. They would like,
They're like posing them in little like memories of like parties and stuff.
I
Yeah.
oh my god, we have to talk about the scrapbook too when we talk about Isabella.
Oh my god, that was
so
nuts.
good.
That was so funny.
I
She's
forgot
like,
about the
Thank you.
I really
forgot about the
loved it.
scrapbook.
And yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
looking
God.
now. I'm looking at the blue room, and it has all of these like carvings on the walls, which like they kind of look like Roman, kind of like what would be on the exterior of a building or like on a fountain or something, like a white marble looking carving of, a woman's face with like the grapes on their head or whatever. And they've got them festooned with strings of pearls coming out of their mouths,
Yeah,
which I think
that's a lot.
says something, it's beautiful, it's expensive, but it keeps you gagged.
Yeah, she can't really. It reminds me of that story, which I've said many times, but like like my mom used to read us this children's story about how one day everything that you said started to manifest as things coming out of your mouth. So people who were kind were like jewels and pearls were coming out. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then the people who were not was like frogs and stuff. And so it's gagging, Kathy and making her say only nice pearly things. So yeah.
Keep the smile on, keep the artifice up to try to maintain your wealth and your standard of living. And they have just so many trappings of wealth, the banquet table with all the like ridiculous food on it and everything.
The big strawberry,
the huge strawberry.
I loved that detail.
It's also really interesting because like strawberries weren't really a thing until fairly recently. They are so hard. So like I'm obviously not sure if that played into this, but they're so hard. They only grow in a very specific period. And so the fact that you could make strawberries all year round or grow them is a pretty recent thing that people were kind of amazed by.
But
so,
strawberries were a big luxury item during this time period. People like when there are, I think this comes up in one of the Jane Austen novels, but like when the strawberries are in season, like the rich people, like they have strawberry parties and they all get together and eat strawberries, and it's like
so she has a
the
giant
cool
strawberry.
thing. Having a giant strawberry is very I think that's on purpose.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, and so I think we talked a little bit last time about how she only really wears like white, black, and red. Except for her wedding night, she's wearing that pink kind of cellophane dress.
Yes, I loved that dress. It's like kind of like like cellophane, like you would wrap a gift basket in.
Yeah, I think that's what we were saying. It was like Christmas wrapping almost.
Yeah, and it's kind of symbolic of her place in this new life, a little
and it's almost
candy, like a gift, like an object, right?
Not she's literally presenting herself in a color she wouldn't normally wear.
Yes, as a gift, as an object. She's a present to be unwrapped on her wedding night, which, that's a classic theme that plays across media generally, but I loved that outfit.
That was fun, And, what did we think about Isabella's clothes in comparison to Kathy's? I know she wasn't in every scene.
I loved that. I love it. Yeah, she was so like, it was all florals for spring. And had that very like, poofy, lacy ruffles, very childlike. And so
the hat thing that's very makes me think
oh my god, she had so many headpieces.
Yeah. I actually don't like, I love this time period, style, but I don't like those headpieces from this time.
Which ones?
The ones where they trot them out in like Pride and Prejudice too, like the sort of like, it's a cross between, I would say, like a little hat and a headband. It's like a fascinator or something that's like lacy and it's got the bows on either side, and they kind of trot them out with the sillier, like not the serious characters as much. I think they're a little bit of a punchline in modern.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind those. I think they're kind of cute, but
I think they're cute. But I think that the silliness being reflected in the fashion.
Sure. It's a lot of pastels she's wearing, like white and pink and ruffles, and like you say.
That first dress that she was wearing when we first meet her in the garden, where she just like is all floral. She's like part of this garden. It was so cute.
Yeah, she has the glasses on and stuff.
The glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, I just googled it, and I think she might be wearing the same or very similar dress in the dog scene. She's wearing a white.
It's a yellow dress.
Yeah,
right?
white and yellow dress. Yeah, where she's chained up. So, which is interesting.
It's definitely, it's a similar color, but I think that when we first meet her, right, she's like buttoned up to her neck in all of these dresses with like a frill and a collar, and then as time goes on, the neckline gets lower and lower, and she's she's pulling her dress off her shoulder, and then you know, finally when she
Yeah.
comes undone in that scene with Heathcliff, the nightgown just falls to the floor, which,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, she's a character on an arc, and we see that in her
Yes, we
wardrobe.
see that arc. Yes. And then I think also I would be remiss if we didn't bring up Jacob Elordi's cunty little earring.
Oh my God. Pirate.
And his gold tooth. Yeah.
His gold tooth. I was saying last time, somehow for me, he got less hot. I don't know if I
Do you
said
think it was the earring?
I don't. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just like him in long hair and beard, but like I don't know.
He
but,
looked much younger with his haircut with no beard.
Yeah, yeah,
I
So that could be
agree.
part of it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looked younger.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still hot, though.
He-
Still hot.
Still
of course.
hot.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
they
think,
didn't do too much with his wardrobe. It was more about the ladies, but I love these details. Like, it's very clear he comes back a rich man, you know?
Yeah,
His
Yes, but
little
also,
pirate
like,
ring.
little pirate earrings still in black,
Mm.
whereas Linton's wardrobe is very, like, in many of the scenes, his wardrobe matches the house, like the finishes and the fabrics in the house,
That's a
which,
good point. Yeah.
you know, he works in textiles, so you have to imagine, like, as much as that's a style choice, it's probably also practical. He's like,
yeah,
we have all this blue silk. I'm doing a couch and I'm also doing a suit.
yeah, yeah.
And his robe is the same fabric, I think, as like his bedclothes. So, like, you know, he's just
Honestly,
it's
very
giving
practical, makes
practicality.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also, man, does that guy love a silk suit
yeah. He has a lot of
on the
pastel
moors
color.
where it's humid?
Well, I don't think he even leaves the house. I mean, it's still humid inside. Obviously, they don't have
Yeah.
air conditioning. Yeah, I don't think he ever leaves the house or the garden. But
No, he has.
yeah.
He's made his own world there at
Yeah.
Thrushcross, and he's,
Mhm.
you know, he's decked it out with his fabrics. He's in control of everything,
Of everything, yeah, except for Kathy. Near the
except
end
for
there.
Kathy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can't be put in a dollhouse.
No, she cannot. My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. But I did.
She
I think
can,
I
but
did-
she's not going to survive.
Yeah,
That doll
Yeah.
meets a very, very upsetting end.
gruesome end. Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. But I. Oh yeah, that's right. She kills the doll. She kills the doll with a little knife. Oh my god. What a little weirdo, Isabella.
Love her so much. I love.
I love
Is there
that
anything else that
too.
we want to talk about with like sets or costumes, or should we just move on to Isabella and just like?
I just want to say I felt like the costumes that Kathy wore are like very close to what I would have imagined as a teenager. So like going
a lot
back
of
to her,
corsets.
yeah, and like beautiful fabrics and things that are not always apropos for the time, but it just makes sense in a teenage mind and makes sense in this iteration of the movie, I guess. But yeah, I loved that part. I was like, this is ridiculous and I love it.
Yeah, like the latex
Yes.
and all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Kind
cellophane.
of wonder too, like I know a lot of people on TikTok have been trying to like attempt the like hoisting by the bodice move, and I'm like, is there a corset that is boned so stiffly that like that is possible? Because like you can't do that with a normal corset. You have to have like an extremely stiffly, intensely boned, very tightly strung
From like whale
Corset.
bones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it just ours today? Like back then, were they that tight? Maybe because they
They
literally
were
were
made
whale
from
bones.
actual
I mean,
bones, right?
maybe.
Yeah, they're made from bones. Yeah,
Yeah, whale bones. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
I
think
loved
like
that outfit also.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
yeah.
it was her colors that she like wears throughout the rest of the movie, but it also like was a little bit undone. Like she had just like sloshed her skirt through the blood when she
Yeah.
like exited the house.
yeah,
And like the skirt was already red, but like it was more red on the bottom, so it was
Yeah.
giving kind of like an ombre moment.
Yeah.
That was a very beautiful costume.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think also she wouldn't have had it wound that tightly in that iteration of her life. Like that wouldn't have been.
That's true. Like, who
So-
laced her up?
Yeah, and well, Nellie, I guess, but not
Nellie.
till. But like she, I don't think she would have been that concerned with how tight it was at that point in her life. But maybe
No.
later on. I mean, yes, in the wedding scene she is, but later on, and yeah,
But
she's just
would she
punishing
not?
herself.
I mean, she was trying to.
But she wasn't
land-
around anyone.
No, she was just
Yeah.
kind of like hanging out around the house. Just
Yeah,
like,
she was always bored, and I mean, I think they used the corset obviously as like a self punishment thing later on, but like, I maybe she would have, but like in a historical context, yeah. But I just don't think she, as a character, she would have cared quite as much. But maybe she would have, yeah.
I mean, she
Well,
did
I'm-
seem like, this Kathy did seem like pretty concerned with
With looks
how
and
she
stuff.
looked. Because even when she like sloshed her skirt through the blood, she was like, now my skirt is ruined.
Yeah.
Like, you could have
Yeah.
gone around.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you could have gone the other way, yeah, or lifted the skirt up, like,
Lifted the skirt up, waited
yeah.
until they cleaned up. Like, you had
Yeah.
options, but
Yeah.
she had to get out
Yeah.
of there.
I think my view on it is like I remember her complaint. She thought that Linton would come basically
Yeah.
like meet and like propose to her very quickly.
That's true.
And he
Yeah.
didn't. So my thinking was like, yeah, the corset would,
She'd
even
be
if she
prepared at all
didn't
times.
know she
Yeah.
was going
Right.
to run into him, she'd be prepared. I don't know. I don't know.
That's true.
how
You
people
always
thought
got to
back
be ready
then.
for your neighbor to
Yeah.
come and propose to you.
That's true.
I mean, you
Yeah,
got to be
that-
able
that's
to feel good
that
if you
was-
accidentally run into an ex or something. You just never know. So,
So true. So true.
yeah, tighten that corset.
Yeah, that was a really harrowing scene. I thought that actually could have gone farther. The cutaways between like her tightening the corset and like what was going on with everybody, and like in that whole scene where she's like getting ready to get married and she's like, we have to make it tighter, and like her back is bleeding the way that like Heathcliff's back was bleeding, and like all of this stuff.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
small moment in the film, but like I don't know, that kind of thing I thought maybe we could have had like less music video montage and more of that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
I agree. I think that we lost a little bit of that, like, I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but like that level of kind of, I don't know what the word is, but it could have been in it more in the second half too. I think we had a lot of more music video montage to Charlie
Yeah.
XCX in the second half. Yeah. So
Which we love. Honestly,
Yeah.
love that soundtrack. I've been listening to it all week. I really love it.
oh, I gotta listen to it.
You haven't listened to it at all?
Not separately. No, I know.
It's
I
good.
listened to it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very atmospheric, makes you feel like you're out on the moors, and then makes you feel like you're in the club for a little while.
I like that.
So
I like that. Yeah. All right. I gotta look at it. I got to listen to it.
Do we want to talk about Isabella?
yeah, so I talked
Still?
a little bit
Okay.
about this on our previous episode. Stephanie, what is your take on this the movie Isabella character?
I mean, she seems like she like comes off at the beginning as seeming a little bit silly and shallow. But yeah, as time goes on, she gets a little more interesting, I think. Definitely the dog scene stands out in my mind. Something I wasn't expecting to see, but kind of tracks with the movie. So, I'm not mad about it or anything. Yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit like more about her towards the end, but yeah, I thought she played an interesting role in this version of the story.
Yeah, I
Does
mean,
that make sense?
just in the canon of like unhinged, like tertiary female characters in Emerald Fennel movies, this is all time.
Very good.
This is as good as Carey Mulligan in Saltburn. Like, just oh my
Yeah.
God. I loved her, and I loved how like her whole thing was kind of like swept up with, I guess, like the adolescence of it all. You know, Emerald Fennell was talking
Oh
about how
yeah.
like this movie was a reflection of like how she read the book in her adolescence, and so she's giving us this kind of like adolescence character who maybe in the way that like when Emerald Fennell was reading the book as a child, Kathy was her like avatar for, you know, whatever, for growing up. Kathy is 100% like she's Isabella's Barbie and she is her avatar for, you know, growing up, for her sexual awakening, for her sexual matural, for her loss of innocence. Like
Mhm.
it's not really Heathcliff that like kind of like takes her virginity or like causes her loss of innocence. It's Kathy in that scene
Mm.
where she's like mocking her and she's like, "Come into the room, we know you're listening." And then she's like, you know, "Take Heathcliff on a walk, show him your dolls." Like that's really where Isabella's innocence is ripped away. And
Yeah.
so the entire time, like she is the avatar for the audience of like, you know, reading this book and starting to be interested in all of these like, you know, romantic relationships and like how that all plays. And so I
Yeah.
thought it was really brilliant what they did with her. I was so happy that she got to like be a different character than in the book. I was so happy that her dog was okay.
Yeah. Her dog
Was
survived.
the you probably hear me sighing in relief even now. I was like, if the dog is not okay, I don't know if I can get behind this movie at all. But the dog
The
was
Yeah.
dog is
fine.
okay in the book. The dog is traumatized, but it survives. So
I just
Yeah.
didn't want to see a traumatized dog.
no, nobody wanted that. I was afraid
And
they were
Yeah.
going to give it to us.
I mean, since then, I don't know if you guys have been following Punch the monkey in Japan at all.
Oh,
No. What happened to
yes, this
Punch?
monkey.
Punch got, oh my God. He's in a zoo, or she, I'm not sure, but just briefly got rejected by the other monkeys, got abandoned by the mother, and is very attached to this orangutan stuffed animal, like plushie, and has been dragging it around and is getting bullied by the other monkeys, but in the past couple of days has been learning to live with the other monkeys, getting an embrace from an older monkey, getting some positive signs, but like the whole internet has been melting down over this
Oh my God, Punch the monkey.
I
traumatized
can't handle
monkey.
it. I
I
can't handle
know.
it.
I love
I
it
know
so much.
exactly. And if
I
the
was so
dog had
happy when
been
that monkey got that hug.
traumatized,
Oh
I know. I was
my God, monkeys just need a hug.
like, anyway, we don't like traumatized animals.
No,
Definitely not in movies. So yeah, we're very happy the
No.
dog wasn't
Yeah. She
traumatized
was
and
just left behind and pooping in her bedroom. That's
yeah,
all. Yeah.
Fanny the dog, totally
traumatized in a
fine.
different way, I guess. But yeah,
Possibly traumatized in a different way.
Not as
Um,
severely, hopefully. Yeah.
but yeah, I think the Isabella the dollhouse thing, the like, you know, making Kathy's hair the same way that she had made the doll's hair and like
It's like your hair
dressing
is
her
so
I
up.
didn't
singular.
notice
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
She
like the
is her
big
real hair.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
oh
And
was.
the,
yeah, the doll's
and the
hair. I
ribbon.
thought you said
Yeah.
the dog's hair. Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah.
That
I
would have been
was
so
like,
cute.
really?
That would have been a
That
lot.
would have been
Yeah.
cute. That would have been
Yeah.
really cute. But yeah, I love the
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
And then in the end, I think that like Isabella, like she very much obviously like she wants to be Kathy. Like she's like, this is what a grown-up woman is. This is what I'm gonna be when I grow up. And then in many ways she gets what she wants. So,
Mm.
you know, she gets
Yeah.
to go and be the lady of Wuthering Heights and she gets to be married to Heathcliff and they sort of in a sense switch places and Kathy gets all the trappings of wealth at
Yeah.
Thrushcross Grange and, you know, Isabella gets chained to the wall.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
This has been an
so
unhinged ending to this episode, similar to the unhinged film that we all enjoyed
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Quick last
We love
thoughts.
chaos. It was a chaotic, fun teenage fever dream. Go see it with that in mind. Teenage Fever Dream, not the real book.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Wuthering Heights in quotations for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Loved it.
Thank you all for
Thank
doing.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us for
Yeah.
part 2 of our conversation. As always, you can follow us on social media at NY Sofalites. If you have thoughts about this film that you would like to share, you can message us. You can send us an email to nysofalites@gmail.com. You can listen to us on Spotify or anywhere you find your podcasts, and you can also watch us on YouTube, New York Sofalites, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.